the Lord, everybody. All hooked up, wired for sound. You know what the better way to be? It's wired for sound. To give God glory through His Word. Through His Word. You know, with Thanksgiving coming up, I think especially my heart just goes out to being thankful and much, much more. The things that we have, things that we see, even our struggles. You know, I have to thank God for it, because that's where we grow. And I don't like politics at the pulpit, so you aren't going to hear that. But get out and vote and pray and seek for God's wisdom and look at the issues. And that's what we got to stand by. What issues follow more towards God. But you have that freedom to vote how you want. And that's what I'm thankful for about this country. You have the freedom to make that choice. And God's given us so many blessings. And we're going to be talking about thankful spirit. Let's go to 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, verses 16 through 18. Thank you, Faith. It says, rejoice always and delight in your faith. Be unceasing and persistent in prayer. In every situation, no matter what the circumstances may be thankful and continually give thanks to God. For this is the will of God for you in Christ Jesus. Be thankful in all things. It's very hard when you see a mama that can't feed her kids and you're trying to tell her, be thankful in all things. It's very hard when you lose a child. Be thankful in all things. These are hard things to say to someone, because at those moments they don't understand. They're in a depth of pain and suffering. And God doesn't take that lightly, what we go through. But in the end, we know that spirit of thankfulness comes in. We're thankful God kept us through those things that we've had to walk through. He made the way, and some things cannot be changed or fixed, but God's with us, and He never leaves us nor forsakes us. We can learn to be thankful, especially in time of grieving. It's only by God that we make it through those moments. And I can say that just by experience. As you all know, you've heard some of our testimonies, as many of you have walked through those walks of pain and suffering that nobody can fix, nobody can change, nobody can make it better. But through that, God gives you His peace and His strength to endure and to trust in Him. That's the key of knowing who He is. So when people don't know Him, where do they go? We have got this wonderful blessing of having God in our life, and there's so many, as Judy met, and I think I know this gentleman that he comes by the laundromat with another homeless man. Thank you, Judy, for listening to the Holy Spirit, God speaking to you. They need help. Not everybody's in their mental right mind, state of mind, and we need to always be ready to help those that may be weak in different areas. I'm thankful for those people that causes us to be humble, causes us to get out of ourselves and think about the needs of someone else, because there's always someone that's got greater needs than we'll ever have, and I know that for sure. There are people that are way far and beyond what I've ever felt in suffering, and my heart goes out to them, and we need that compassion. Yes, somebody would say a woman should never pick up a man, people that you don't know, even if it's a couple. Be careful, because you've got all this going on in the world. But when it's God that's leading you, He's going to take care of you. He will. It's beyond understanding, when you try to help someone understand why you did what you did, because they'd say, well, you're crazy, you shouldn't do that. But when Jesus leads you to do something, it's right. And He blesses that person through our faith, through our love, because they don't receive it from the world. We're in this world, but we're not of this world. And we're not to act or think or do as the world. And Judy, that was an example. we're not like the world. We're not supposed to be. That our love is genuine when you can help. I think about the 10 lepers. Let's go to Luke 17. So many times we forget to thank God. We forget. We take him for granted so many times. And we're going to read verses 11 through 19. Luke 17, verses 11 through 19. As we all have different Bibles, but just kind of stay with it and with us as we read this. Verses 11 through 19. As he went on his way to Jerusalem, it occurred that Jesus was passing along the border between Samaria and Galilee, and he was going into one village. He was met by 10 lepers who stood at a distance. One thing about lepers were they were cast out. They weren't allowed to be in the city. They all were cast out to be alone in the desert, wherever. They had to be a distance because they were contagious. They had a disease that was, it would kill you. You'd lose limbs, but they also think about the loss. They lose families. They lose their loved ones because they cannot be with them because of this disease. So they were treated very badly, cast away. They were the nothings, of the world. They don't want nothing to do with them. So here's these 10 lepers. They recognized Jesus, but they knew to stay at a distance. They recognized who he was. They heard who he was, that he was coming to town. And here are these 10 lepers standing out there calling out to Jesus. And they raised up their voices and called Jesus, "Master, take pity and have mercy on us." And when he saw them, he said to them, "Go at once and show yourselves to the priests." And as they went, they cured and made clean. Then one of them, upon seeing that he was cured, came back. They turned back, recognizing and thanking and praising God with a loud voice. And he fell prostrate at Jesus' feet, thanking him over and over. And he was a Samaritan. Then Jesus asked, "Were not all 10 cleansed? Where are the 9? Was there not one found to return to recognize and give thanks and praise to God, except this alien?" And he said to him, "Get up and go on your way. Your faith, your trust, your confidence that spring from your belief in God has restored you to health." So Jesus healed the 10 lepers. They all went their way, but one remembered and came back. And he laid prostrate in front of him, thanking him over and over for what he did. He recognized who Jesus was and the power and authority he had, and for healing this deadly disease, he came back to thank the Father, the one, the only one that could change his life. Those other 9, they just took him for granted. Oh, well, here I'm free, so I'm going on, without coming to thank him. And because of that, Jesus made him whole. Okay, there's a difference between healing and made whole. They were touched for that circumstance. But when he came back, the one came back to thank him, he was made whole. So anything else that was going on in his body, his life, whatever it was, he made him whole because he acknowledged him. How many times do we forget sometimes? We take things for granted. The things that are around us every day. The things that God does for us. I think I go back to always, he gave me the breath today to wake up and have a new day. Those mercies are new mercies for today. Tomorrow I get more new mercies. The mercies today don't go into tomorrow. He gives me new ones tomorrow. We need to thank him for that. He kept us while we were sleeping. When we go to sleep, we're just lost, la la land. But God's fighting over us. He's got the angels fighting over us, the evil and good angels. They're always warring over us, wherever we're at, keeping us from things we'll never know, may never know. We don't know what the enemy tries to put against us at any given moment. But we need to thank God for what he's doing that we don't know, that's unseen. Maybe in heaven we'll find out. But by then, will it matter? I'll just be glad to be walking up there. Just get me in the door. That's all. Just let me in. Don't leave me outside the door. We've got to understand. We must have a heart of thanksgiving. God, help us to be sensitive to what you're doing around us. Help us to be sensitive to what you've already done. Help us to be sensitive to your word for the things that are coming that you're going to do for us and for your kingdom. You think about the times of Daniel. Let's go to Daniel chapter 2. Verse 23. It says, I thank you and praise you, O God of my fathers, who has given me wisdom and might, and has made known to me now what we desired of you. For you have made known to us the solution to the king's problem. The king was having dreams, and he wanted all his, wise men to come and tell him what that dream meant. Well, of course, a human cannot do that. I can't tell you, I don't know what you're thinking right now. I don't know what your dreams are. Only God knows those things. But the king told them if they did not come back with what it was, that they were all going to be killed, cut into pieces, slaughtered. And Daniel heard of this. So he went to one of the main guards, one of the high, the ones that were sent out, and he asked him what was going on, and he explained to him, and he asked him to ask the king if he could have favor to come talk to him, that he wanted to know about this dream, and not to kill anyone yet. So Daniel was able to go and speak to the king, and he told him after he prayed and fasted before he went, he told the king exactly what his dream was. And Daniel thanked the Lord for giving him that wisdom. It saved many people's lives, for one. But the key is, we got to go to the Lord for our answers. If that king would have known the Lord, been close to the Lord, he could ask the Lord himself. But we know he was a heathen king, somebody that's going to murder someone just because you can't tell them what their dream was about. That's how evil the times were. And we're in those evil times today. We have a lot of things going on in this world, but we have Jesus, and he's in the midst of it with us. So we're not to be afraid or put off guard for whatever comes. No matter how the elections go, God is still king, and he's still on the throne, and he's the one we follow. Whatever comes into place, it'll be God that allows it, so that his coming comes to, we're in this generation that he's coming. It's this generation now that we are alive in. Now is when it's going to happen. So whatever is to come, God's going to put in place, so that all the prophecies that were foretold are completed, come to fruition. Almost everything has come to fruition. It's already happened. There's a few things left. But you and I, what we have to do is stand. Stand on the rock, which is Jesus Christ, believing and trusting in him for what he has given to us. What he says he's going to do, he's going to do. And that he will be with us no matter what comes, no matter what we're going to face, and we're going to face things as a nation. Things are going to happen. But we're going to stand in faith and trust him through it all. We cannot lose faith. When we see people that become fearful, we've got to give them hope. We've got to help them to build their faith up. We got to bind together as a church in strength and pray. Pray. Don't allow anxieties to come in. Don't allow angers and unforgiveness in situations like that. Be careful the things you say during this time. Whatever is going to happen will happen. But we have God. He's our Father. And because we are knitted in him, we have safety, We have strength, we have anointing, we have power. We have what those others don't have. They don't know what you know. So this is one of the greatest times when devastation may come in different ways to America. We have that hope to reach out to those that are hopeless. And it might be the greatest time. Winning lost souls is when the hardship comes against us and against this nation. Be ready, be strong in faith and in prayer, because God's going to use us more now than ever before because of the times that we're in. You know, some of the things we have each and every day we think is so simple. The food, we're used to having food every day. We've got a car to drive. You know, we've got, you know, medical coverage. Many people do, many do not. We have our families around us. We have a lot to be thankful for. Those may seem simple, but they're not, because when you lose those things, you see the big gap. You know, if you didn't have food, money to bring home for food for your home, or if the grandkids don't, you know, the parents don't have money, you need to help. What about if you lost your car? You don't have a way to buy another car. You know, these things that we have every day, if we should lose them, that's a major thing. It's a crisis. But we take it for granted. Do we thank God for our car? Do we thank God for our home? Do we thank God for our finances? Do we thank Him for the very breath that we breathe? A roof over our heads. Do we think about that? The smiles on our grandkids' faces. The protection for our grandkids, our families. We take that for granted sometimes. And it could be gone in an hour. What are we going to do? We need to be thankful. Tell God, thank you every day for these things. Bless the Lord because He's blessed us. There is a cost to gratitude. There's a cost to being thankful. Sometimes we have to be put into a place where we have to go through things in order for us to see. But with that comes privilege. I'm blessed so that I can bless. I'm gifted so I can give. I'm not lucky, fortunate, or merely disciplined. I'm expected to do something with what I've been given, with that grace, along with God's grace. We've got to do something with what He's given us. Ralph Waldo Emerson says, cultivate the habit of being grateful for every good thing that comes to you, and to give thanks continuously. And because all things have contributed to your advancement, you should include all things in your gratitude. Have we been thankful? Are we really thankful? I'm thankful for the internet. You know, the internet could be a good thing and it could be an evil thing, depending on the heart of the person in front of that monitor. I've always seen it as a blessing in ministering to people all over this world, building family relationships with people you may never meet, but you talk with them year after year after year, and you share family situations and prayer, and you know, and that bond is there. I appreciate that. I'm thankful for that, to be able to minister to people, even on Facebook. That's my goal. Whatever I put out there is going to be forgotten, because there is somebody that's going to see something that you wrote, that you shared, your testimony, the picture that has, you know, scriptures on it. Somebody's going to see that day, and it's going to lift them up, because I don't know where everybody is during the day, what they're going through, but God does. So if He puts that unctioning on you to share something, share it. It can't be about us. There are those that it's all about them. You know, what I'm doing any given day, I'm going to the store, or I'm going, it's just things on there that, you'd think you'd write up on a board in your house, to remind you what you're doing. But we've got to use it for important things, to bless one another. I'm thankful for that. I'm thankful for my health. I'm thankful for God's grace, His mercy, that I'm alive today. Because so many times my life is going to be taken. And He says, no, I'm not done with her. You can't take her. And that's what He said about you. Anything he said about me, he said about you. Because one person isn't more important than another. So I know if He's done it for me, He's done it for all of you. We just may never understand or acknowledge what the importance of it is. We never thought about it. But it's vital to God. We've got to ask God to help us cultivate that spirit of thanksgiving, that gratitude for all that's surrounding us. This beautiful earth. My goodness, wouldn't you love to have seen it when He first created it before we messed it up? Think about that. Oh my goodness, no smog, no, the air would have been crisp, the water would have been pure, the animals loving and kind. Adam named them all, he walked with them. There was no vicious animals at that time. Think about it. So God shed blood so that they could be covered. Think about it. The way they ate. Now we're eating so much processed food. It's hard to find good food. It's hard. You go to the store and you're like, well, I can't have that, can't have that, can't have that, can't eat that. I'm thankful for the real food, pure food, vegetables, and fruits. Giving us the ideas, you don't have to buy pasta, you can make pasta out of your vegetables, it's good. I'm so thankful for that. We've got to open up our eyes. Those are simple things, but they're big things when you got to find food. Food that's good for you to eat. We've got to search it out. What did Adam and Eve do? They had to find ways of what they were going to do and how they were going to do it and feed their children, and just like we did. But I'm thankful that God gives us wisdom and direction, and that we see that it's worth fighting for, to be thankful. I'd rather be thankful than be angry and unforgiving. I'd rather find goodness instead of the worst in people, because every person has an ounce of good in them. Even the most evil person, if you can find that little seed in there and help develop that, God can do anything with those things. But God help us to be thankful. Help us to have that gratitude. Thanksgiving's coming up, and I think it's a Wednesday. We're not sure whether there will be church that Wednesday night, the day before Thanksgiving. We were thinking about having a Thanksgiving service where we all share in testimonies of what God's done for our life. So we don't know whether that Wednesday night would be good or that Sunday morning before. So Pastor Rick and I were talking about that and see what the church felt. But we need to remind ourselves how good God's been to our children, our grandchildren, we ourselves, our church, the many testimonies of things God's done here in the couple of years we've been here. Just amazing to see what He's doing in people's lives. It's a wonderful thing, and I'm thankful for that. I'm thankful for that. Pastor Rick, can you read Philippians chapter 4, verses 12 and 13? If we will seek out and ask God to help us to change, help us to have more of a positive outlook on things, and we read and study His Word, our mind will be renewed. Our spirit will be renewed. How much of it do you want? That's the key. Do you want to have thankfulness? Do you want to have peace? Do you want to have joy? What does it take to get that, to receive that? We've got to allow God to give that to us. We've got to allow His Word to speak to our spirit and renew our minds and hearts. Pastor Rick, can you read that one last scripture?
I'm going to back up.
Okay, go ahead.
How I praise the Lord that you are concerned about me again. I know that you've always been concerned for me, but you didn't have a chance to help me. Not that I was ever in need, for I have learned how to be content with whatever I have. I know how to live on almost nothing or with everything. I have learned the secret of living in every situation, whether it is with a full stomach or empty, with plenty or little. For I can do everything through Christ who gives me strength. Even so, you have done well to share with me in my present difficulty.
I have one more scripture. I said that was the end, but I got one more. In James 1, verses 17 and 18, it says, every good thing given and every perfect gift from above, it comes down from the Father of lights, the creator and sustainer of the heavens, in whom there is no variation, no rising or setting, or shadow cast by his turning, for he is perfect and never changes. It was of his own will that he gave us birth as his children by the word of truth, so that we would be a kind of first fruits of his creatures, a prime example of what he created to be set apart to himself, sanctified, made holy for his divine purposes. So no matter what situations you're in, no matter what crisis, whatever has come against you, how are we looking at it? How are we perceiving it in our life? Are we going to try to find the good out of the situation, or are we going to allow the crisis part, the hardness, the dark part to rule us? We've got to get on the rock and stand on him and believe that he's never going to leave you nor forsake you. He's your strength. He is your peace, your joy. He's everything that you need, but you got to reach for it and say, I need it. I've asked him so many times, Jesus, I need your peace right now. Take away this anxiety. Let's all stand. But it's how we choose to handle our situations. And I think we need it more now than ever. God, be our peace, be our strength. Help us to have gratitude and thankfulness for your love and your mercy, oh God. And if you feel the need to come up and pray while we're singing, please do. The altar is always open. And